Well, it's a new year, but the same wonderful Signet WNBL. Welcome to the first show of 2023. My name is Megan Hustwaite, and joining me today is Tess Madgen from the Boomers. Hello, Tess. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Megan. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's great to see you. Are we going to see you on the court soon? Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah, I'm going to play this Wednesday, first game of this season. But I wouldn't have missed a game this year.
You've been planning that gag, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Oh, that's great news. Now, we'll talk about the massive game this Wednesday, Boomers and Flyers, and Monique Conti from the Flyers will join us a little bit later, so we'll really dig into that big rivalry. But, gee, that's a great way to start the year, and your first game of the season, it's a big one to come back in.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. Obviously, it's been a long time, but I just wanted to make sure my knee was feeling really great, and the team's playing so well, so there was no point, jeopardising my rehab, trying to be a hero and come back early. So I'm feeling super confident and ready to go, and hoping to add something else to the team and help us with our successful season so far.
So speaking of being a hero, was your last game as captain of Australia in the Rose Gold FIBA Women's World Cup?
Yes, that was my last game.
Wow.
It's going to be hard to top, but boombox against the Flyers this Wednesday.
I think it'll come pretty close.
I hope so.
So when did you actually hurt your knee?
It's a long story, but it just swelled up after the New York camp, the last selection camp. We don't really know what happened, whether it was a reloading thing, whether I heard it there or just training innocuously and didn't realise. But the swelling just wouldn't come out, and so grateful to be able to play at the World Cup and be able to contribute with a significantly impacted knee, but it's all cleaned out now, and I'm feeling, it's feeling great and ready to go to, help the Boomers in the second half of this season.
We're a few months after the World Cup now. Have you had time to reflect on that experience? You did put up a great post on, I think, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve about what the year had been like, but have you had time to reflect on that, once in a lifetime experience?
Yeah, I have. And we see fans every week at our games telling us that they were at the World Cup, especially earlier in the season, and how much of a significant impact they had on them as women, but also their sons and daughters, which is, what we wanted. We wanted to create a momentum. It was a huge responsibility having a home World Cup, but I think everyone really bought into the Opal style of play and the sisterhood and, the great story that we were in our bounce back from the Olympics. And I think that has helped carry through into the WNBL season. And, we're seeing record number of crowds in attendance, and we just want to continue that momentum for basketball in Australia.
So how hard has it been to sit out and watch? Although you have been assistant coach a few times, and I did chat to you after one of the games on ESPN. You had the highest pants I've ever seen you wear. It was very much a coaching uniform. You were filling in for Christy Harrower. Has that been good? Because I imagine you'd be a restless spectator. So has it been good to have sort of a job to focus on during games?
Absolutely, yeah. You know me too well. So, yeah, it has been good to be able to try and help impact the game in some way. Christy and Chris do an amazing job coaching. I have a newfound respect for coaches being up that end of the bench. I think for me, IQ is one of my strengths of the game, but I find that a lot easier when I'm involved in the play and on the court and can read it. It's completely different sitting on the bench. So, yeah, that game, the first game we played Townsville at home when I had to be assistant coach, I felt an enormous responsibility. I was so nervous, but Chris had it under control. So, yeah, it wasn't a problem.
The only thing I thought was, I love a prop and you didn't have like a clipboard or something. I feel like if you're ever back in this situation, you need a clipboard to go with those pants.
Absolutely. I'll add that to the list.
Yeah, but I'm glad those pants have been hung up in the wardrobe and you're back in the playing kit. Now, we're just chatting before we started about last time you played Southside, so the first leg of the Michelle Timms Cup, and that was your last and only loss of the season. So how do you sum up the Boomers' form today? Obviously, a game clear at the top of the ladder now. They've been without you for all of it, which makes it even more incredible, also without Lily Carmody. So what's been the key to this incredible start with so many changes?
I think, it's been a different player every game. Kayla's leadership's been exceptional when the team needs, big plays or big buckets. She's always coming through, especially in the last quarters, like from as many games as I can remember when it's been a tight situation. She just made a huge play. And then we see Mia step up with 34 points when Tiff was also out. Wally's had an incredible start to the season, and I think she really suits Chris's style of play. It's quick, so does Tiff. With Christy, Wally, I can't believe I just called her Christy.
I know, who's Christy?
Wally, she really leads ahead of the snake. She pushes the tempo. She plays really tough D, and I think it just, kind of fires everyone else up. And everyone's just really been able to shine under Chris's leadership, which has been great. And in the last, month or so, I think Liv has really stepped up as well and is a huge post presence inside. Now it was so good seeing her take it, to the Townsville Bigs without hesitation in the game. So all the pieces are fitting together really nicely. And I think when we can add, hopefully, me back into the mix, we can look to be a bit more aggressive defensively. We should be able to get, a few more minutes rest into everyone and really look to hone in on the defensive side of things.
And then what about Millie Goodchubb? Because she's come in and just seamlessly come onto the floor for the Boomers. She's hit some massive shots. That's a testament to the program and the club, but to her, obviously, and her IQ and maturity to come in and be able to just have an instant impact in a group that, she didn't do pre-season with you guys or anything.
Yeah, it was incredible just seeing her come in, even at training, how much she positively impacted the group at training. She came in fit, ready. You could tell she'd been working, just waiting for an opportunity, really. That's a testament to her, how seamlessly she was able to fit in and make a positive impact at training. And then everyone's been able to see that now with her performances in games. So, you'd never have to get ready as long as you stay ready. And that's, I think, what Mila has definitely done in waiting for her opportunity. So credit to her.
Oh, Tessie, we can always come to you for a great inspirational quote about being ready. Now, you are in a great fit today representing She Hoops, and it is school holidays and there's lots of WNBL to get to. I'm sure everyone's seen the ad about getting to games this school holidays, but you are running a program. It's not just a program, it's a masterclass. It's Madgen's masterclass. Be coached by the Australian Opals captain. This is an online program, so anyone, anywhere can join in. Tell us about it.
Yeah, LJ approached me straight after the World Cup to do something with She Hoops, and I couldn't wait to be involved. I'd seen, I'd done a couple of online Q&As with you during the World Cup, and I just think it's an amazing initiative that Lauren has come up with, and I jumped at the bit. I couldn't wait, and I was honoured, to be given such a task. But I think as a professional athlete, one of our jobs is to give back to the game that has given us so much. So, I love being able to coach young players and teach them something new and see that light, shine on their face. We'll be doing it. It runs for 6 weeks, starting next January the 9th. And it'll be 45 minutes to an hour of skills, mobility exercises, and then any questions they want to ask me for the last 10 minutes or so. So we really want young basketballers to come back into the season ready to go and feeling good about themselves and hopefully learn something new in those 6 weeks.
What a great opportunity. It's free. It's accessible. You get to learn and ask questions from the Australian Opals captain. I love that these are the opportunities that She Hoops is bringing for women and girls from grassroots, to the elite, from little tackers right through to, us old birds. So it's great. What kind of things do you have themed sessions over the weeks?
Yeah, so I will be doing the main skills every session, so passing, dribbling, shooting, and then we'll do some defensive footwork stuff. So it'll definitely progress from week 1 all the way through to week 6, but you will be able to join at any time as well. So,
and is there an age group?
No. So it's, open age.
That's great. I'm sure it is because anyone can join. I'll probably join just to watch and learn a few things. That's awesome, Tess. We've got a massive week coming up, back on court. Madgen's masterclass coming to She Hoops. We love to see it. We are going to get into a wrap shortly of the round that was the final round of 2022. And then we are going to talk to our guest today on the show, Monique Conti, and we're going to look ahead to a massive round 9 of action in WNBL 23. Tess, let's take a look back now to last year. round 8. It all happened before New Year, but we go way back to last Wednesday when we had a double header to kick off round 8. It started with Southside and the Caps, Southside winning 76-54. It was kind of an adjust your screens moment because Canberra they weren't the Canberra Raiders, they were the Knox Raiders in Bumblebee yellow after bringing the wrong strip. So that kind of didn't get things off on the right foot for the Caps.
No, it didn't. But, it was great to see Shanice Swain. I think she's definitely up and coming talent, if not already a star of this league. So it was awesome to see her do her thing. And I think they've had a lot of adversity to the start of this season, but I think Jade Melbourne is just, really showing her stripes as a terrific young leader. And I think, I'm loving seeing what she's doing in a leadership aspect as well as taking ownership of the team on the court.
So Shanice Swain continues to be one of the stories of the season, finds herself in the starting lineup when Gemma and Jade were injured early on. She's maintained that spot, 22 points. So she was the leading scorer in the game, in the loss to Southside. Sarah Blitzarves in game 250 had 14 points. She sat here last week and told us, I don't want a big deal. It was a big deal and it's what she deserves. So well done, Blicky.
Absolutely. She deserves nothing less. She's a star of the league and just a superstar person. Yeah. So she deserved it.
Well, a bit of news surrounded the second game of the day in Adelaide where Bendigo got the win over Adelaide 78-66. No imports for the Lightning. So Jane Munro was out with a rolled ankle, which she sustained during the overtime loss to Melbourne. Kirsten Bell didn't play and we found out 24 hours later that her and the Lightning have parted ways. So that's disappointing for both parties. The second import to go out of this league this season too. But it brought opportunity and good news with Izzy Boulace earning her first career start in the WNBL. And as a proud South Australian Tess, you'd be so happy to see her flourishing.
Yeah, she's had an incredible start to her WNBL career. So I think, she could have been in the starting lineup a lot earlier. So adversity always breeds opportunity for someone else. So I'm super excited for her. She definitely deserves it. And I think she'll add a lot defensively to that starting five as well as getting out looking to run, and her and Steph Talbot running the lanes is a nightmare to guard. We found that out both times we've played Adelaide this season. So super happy for her, and I think she'll just continue to shine throughout the rest of the season.
Want to give some love to Ella Badic as well, who started in the absence of Munro and did a really good job. So I really like seeing the opportunities that are being presented to some of our great young talent. Steph Talbot, 21-10-6 in the defeat for Bendigo. So fitting that on the home floor where Rachel Spawn carved out an incredible WNBL career as the leading rebounder in the history of the competition and the history record holder for most rebounds in a game with 27. Annalee had 24 on that court and 19 points. 24 rebounds. That is incredible in this league, Tess.
It is. It's absolutely incredible. When I was looking at the box score, I thought I had the points and the rebounds mixed around.
Too far? Yeah.
And then I saw it was Annalee and I said, absolutely not. Definitely correct. But Annalee is relentless on rebounds. Like, you cannot match her relentlessness. She just is moving the whole time, the whole game. Having to defend her at Opal's camps, I was just exhausted afterwards. So I'm not surprised, but it is, I don't think people understand how enormous 24 rebounds is. It's hard to get 24 points, let alone rebounds. So huge credit to her, and really looking forward to matching up against Annalee this Sunday, because it is always a tough battle, no matter, how well your team's going. It's going to be tough playing Annalee no matter what.
You'll need a few early nights before that game. But it is incredible, I think, because she has such high standards and high numbers in terms of the boards. Like 24 points for her in, say, NBL 1, which is obviously a lower level, is like a quiet night because she's been putting up ridiculous numbers everywhere she plays. So we cannot praise enough that defensive performance. Kelsey Griffin, a 15 and 11 double-double. Alex Wilson had 15 points, on fire in the first half. And Alicia Froling continues her good form, another getting an opportunity in a starting spot, 11 and 9. Let's move on to Sydney and the Caps now. And Sydney made it 3 wins against Canberra and 3 wins for the season to date, 81-70 winners. Charlie Hill continued her good form, 26 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, a double-double for Keely Froling. We talk about young leaders. Keely's led Sydney superbly this season, only had 3 wins, as we said, but she's basically had a double-double every week.
Yeah, she has, and she's scoring the ball really efficiently this season. So huge credit to her on working on her outside game. You can definitely tell that, you know, she's stroking the three ball really nicely, which is helping her get into the keyway as well. And then, you know, we can see Shyla really starting to hit some form now. She had a very interrupted preseason with some health issues, having glandular fever and COVID, but you can see the last couple of weeks she's playing really well and also helping Keely lead the team.
Shanice Swain, 21 points, continued a great weekend. So 22 and 21 in a pair of losses. You know, that's a great effort by Shanice. Ray Burrell, 15 points. Nicole Munger, 13 points. I could talk about Nicole Munger, you know, talking about opportunities every week. I just love her doing her thing, making the most of her opportunities at Canberra. Let's move on to Perth and Adelaide now. 10-point margin in this one, 82-72 winners were the Lynx. Chloe Bibby, another that's come back into the league after some time away. 25 points, 9 rebounds got her in the team of the week. And you've had a look at her twice because you've played in Perth twice.
Yes, unfortunately I wasn't there, but I also played against her in NBL 1, so she can really shoot the ball. She's a great shooter, you know, as best as they do it in the league really. And then having her and Sammy and Lauren who can all shoot the ball really stretches teams out. And it was, you know, good to see Perth get a win against a quality team and play that really exciting offensive style that's great for fans to watch.
The Bendat Princess, as I've named her, Lauren Scher, 14 rebounds, 11 points and 8 assists. Kayla George Arias, after Kayla notched the first triple-double in 10 years last week. Scherfy's flirting around there too. We see you, Lauren Scherf, out there way out in the west, so we're keeping an eye on your numbers. For Adelaide, Jay Munro straight back into the team, 23 and 10. Steph Talbot, 12 and 10. She's missed consistency, isn't she, Stelbert?
Yeah, she's a nightmare to guard. She can do it all. She can shoot the three. She gets out in offense and runs the floor really well, pushes a tempo, and then can put smaller guards in the post. So, you know, every time you match up against Adelaide, you know, you really have to shut down Steph to have any chance to win the game, but she's pretty hard to shut down.
And then the fireworks were in Townsville on New Year's Eve, and it was Melbourne who spoiled the party, 86-76 victors. Now, Tess, your Melbourne Boomers are the fastest finishers in the comp because you've had some, I wouldn't say slow starts, but there's been games where you've been down at halftime. But my God, I don't know what happens at halftime because you come out of the blocks and led by Kayla George, who was like the thoroughbred horse coming down the home straight at Flemington, coming home absolutely barnstorming, and that was the theme again. Kayla hit some form and helped lead you guys to victory.
Yeah, she's been incredible in the, you know, for the whole game, but definitely in the second half when the team needs it. She makes massive plays time and time again, week after week. So her leadership has been exceptional this year, and it's great to see. But we would like to start getting better starts. We know, you know, that's going to bite us sooner or later. So that's been one of the focuses and will continue to be a focus until we can really get that under control.
Because they haven't been slow. I guess they've been slow, but like you haven't been playing badly, if that makes sense. When I say slow, I don't mean it in a negative sense, but it's more that you sort of get back in the game and then you storm home.
Yeah, I mean, but we have had games where we've been down by 15 points, 12 points, and, you know, we know that's not good enough. So we really want to make the game a bit easier for us. And I think it comes down to defense, starting really well defensively. We're kind of taking a whole half to get into the game that way. I think offensively, you know, we're good no matter what we're doing. We have a really good system in place. So we just need a stronger focus on defense at the beginning of our games.
Plus, it's exhausting having to come back all the time.
Absolutely. The character of the group, it's really positive that we are able to stick together and grind out those wins. But I think it's going to give Chris a heart attack sooner or later.
We don't want that for CJ, as we now know him as on the WNBL show. Back like she never left, Tiff Mitchell, 22-5-4, missed the past 2 games with a wrist injury. Well, it was like she was never injured.
She is incredible. Guarding her at practice is an absolute nightmare. So I'm actually looking forward to a game where I can match up on someone else. But she's incredible. She works super hard and, you know, you can see that with the way she plays and the way she's playing this season.
Wally, 18-7-3, and then Kayla, 16-5-8. Can't read my writing. Something like that. Near a triple again.
Yeah.
Standard for Kayla.
Yeah. Wally Christy. Wally has that third quarter, she really led the tempo for us, made some big jump shots. Her jump shot, I think, is unguardable because she's so good at getting on the ring. So it really opens that up for her. And then, like I said before, Kayla's second halves this season have just been outstanding. So would expect nothing less.
Love that. Love that for you, Tess. Round 8, one and done. Let's take a look at round 9 and welcome in this week's very special guest. Well, it's one of the biggest rivalries in the Signet WNBL. It's the Boomers and the Flyers in the Michelle Timms Cup. It's coming up leg 2 this Wednesday night at the Boombox. Of course, you can watch it on ESPN and KO. Tess is here, of course, joining us on the WNBL show today as we welcome in from the Southside Flyers their early season recruit, Mon Conti. Hello, Monique Conti. Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's great to see you. Now, you weren't suiting up last time these teams played in round 2, so it's been a little while since you played the crosstown rivals.
Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Sort of came in last minute, but I'm really excited for the rivalry. Obviously, playing for Boomers a couple of seasons ago will be really interesting, but I'm excited.
Tell us about the rivalry, guys, because Tess, the Michelle Timms Cup started in 2005, and back then it was the Melbourne Boomers and the Dandenong Rangers, and both teams have sort of had facelifts, I guess, over time, but continued this great tradition. You've been part of some really memorable wins against the arch rival, being part of Bulleen and now Melbourne Boomers. Is the rivalry real? Is it all it's built up to be?
I think it is. I mean, both clubs do a great job of recruiting very talented, high-quality people. So I think whenever you have two successful clubs, there's always going to be a rivalry. And, you know, considering we're only 20 minutes down the highway from one another, it just really adds to that. So it is, it's always a big game. It always feels like a grand final, and especially Southside have one up on us this season. So, you know, we definitely want to tie it on Wednesday and go 1-1. But Sarah Blitzars was talking up the big game on the last WNBL show, how they were sick of hearing about Bendigo being undefeated, and then they beat them. And we haven't lost the game since we played Southside last week. So I know they're going to be out hunting ready, and I'm really excited for it.
I love that, especially that Tess was watching last week. Now, Mon, you played for the Flyers in their championship hub season up in Townsville. So you would have played Boomers then, and then obviously you played for Melbourne a few years prior to that. Look at the eyes moving in motion while...
I'm just thinking, I was like, when did I? Yeah.
So Flyers play out of the State Basketball Centre now, which is where you represented the Boomers. Is that a bit weird with the change rooms and everything?
Bit of PTSD. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's quite interesting. Obviously, I thought we were going to be based out at Dandenong, then I realised we're at the State Basketball Centre. So it brings back some good memories. When I was with the Boomers, I think I was there for about 4 and a bit years. So it brings back some good memories, but different colours now. So, yeah.
Now, speaking of good memories, I've been harping on about it for the last few weeks, but we'd been talking about Townsville and Melbourne playing in that New Year's game. Now, do you remember playing in that game when I think you were still in high school, and we did a story together about how you were on this road trip over, school holidays and playing on New Year's Eve? Do you remember that?
I do. I think that was my first season in the league. Well, everybody went out or something like that, obviously, before COVID existed. And everyone went and hit the town and celebrated New Year's, and I was in the hotel with Jenny James, the team manager, and the coaching staff, and one of the other players, shout out to Casey Burton, she stayed with me that night. And I guess we just enjoyed New Year's that way. There was no fireworks or anything. It was sort of just in our room, but I was underage, and of course the coaches wouldn't let me go out, so I was sort of supervised. So I think I was about 16 or 17.
Oh, Mon, you've come a long way because you're a dual sport superstar now, and congratulations on your recent AFLW campaign with Richmond, where you've made club history, winning the most best and fairest consecutively, in the history of the whole entire football club, which is amazing. How would you describe to us what the experience has been like playing AFLW, first at the Bulldogs where you had great success, and now at Richmond where you've become part of the furniture?
It's been a really good experience. It's quite interesting being, at a club where, or not at a club, like starting at the league where it's fresh. It's still fresh. There's a long way to go. You don't know where it's going to be in a year or two. But then to sort of be a part of the journey of AFLW has been very special. And obviously joining a inaugural team back when Richmond came in is also another journey on its own. And it's been quite special to be a part of that and to be involved while the game is evolving as well. And to just see the growth of not only the league, but the talent and the players coming in and everything like that. They've created a really good pathway, and it's a job of mine, and I wouldn't think in a million years I'd be saying that AFLW is my job and it's my main place of work. So there's still a long way to go, but it's definitely special being a part of Richmond and being a part of the journey of AFLW as well.
You're being a part of history as it's developing, which is pretty special. Tell us about the opportunity to come and play for the Flyers again this season. I remember seeing, I'd been doing the Basketball New South Wales Hall of Fame, was catching an early flight back, grabbed the paper, saw this little snippet about Monique Conti just winning another BNF and suiting up for the Flyers. And I was like, hello, what's happening here? It happened very quickly, didn't it? Tell us about how it unfolded.
Yeah, surprise. It was quite random. So I was really interested in, I guess, training with the team, and I wasn't sure who with. I wasn't sure what kind of role I'd potentially be playing, but I had a call from Cheryl, and obviously they had some injuries down there, and she asked if I wanted to join in because played with her a couple seasons ago, and I guess I was probably one of the players that I guess wasn't in a team already that has played before. So yeah, just had a phone call, had a chat. Still had to finish my footy season before I really committed to anything, which was why it was such a random and quick process, because I was still playing footy and I wanted it to sort of be confirmed quite quickly so I could focus on the footy and then the basketball. But yeah, I had a call, sat down, spoke to her, and I just basically agreed straight away to come down and join. And yeah, after I think the BNF night, I was at training the next day. I didn't train yet, but it was good to just get in quite early and just be around everybody and kind of just slotted straight in, and it was just down to business. So it went really fast.
Tell us about the environment Southside have created where you were part of that hub season, and then this situation arises and it's somewhere you want to go back to play and go straight from one sport to another season.
Yeah, I guess for me, it was a no-brainer. I really enjoyed my season in the hub and I really enjoyed Southside as a club. So, yeah, when I got the call, I was it wasn't hard to say yes. It wasn't a difficult decision as such. But, yeah, I think Cheryl's a great coach, and obviously I know basically all of the girls already. So that is what sort of made it easier as well. When you're coming into a team and you're already, I guess, friends with and you know most of the girls, it makes things a lot easier. So, yeah, Southside's got a great environment and a great club, and yeah, it's something that I'm familiar with as well.
Mon, you've had a really seamless transition from the AFLW season into the Signet WNBL season. How have you found it? Because you've definitely added something to the team. You're a real impact off the bench. The team plays, super quick. It's really seamless between you and Maddie. How have you found the transition, and were you shooting hoops during AFLW season?
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I hadn't been shooting a lot of hoops before I was sort of in talks with Shez. So I kind of had a break from basketball for a little bit. Obviously played NBL 1, but focused solely on my football. And then when I knew I'd probably, be coming in, I started to get lots and lots of shots up, but nothing too crazy, obviously, just to find my rhythm again and everything like that. And at training, we get heaps of shots up anyway. So it kind of just came with it. I'm still trying to get that muscle memory back, but I guess, what I bring the team is something that's, not too difficult for me, which is, just to be quick, being annoying on defense. And if my shot comes, it comes, but I'm not really out there for that. So it's sort of just been coming in and focusing on something that I've been doing my whole basketball career, which is, what I just mentioned before. So that's why it was sort of a bit easier this time.
So, Mon, in 2022, you've played 2 AFLW seasons, an NBL 1 campaign, and you began a WNBL season. Do you ever get tired?
Well, everyone gets tired. I love my sleep, but I've sort of been go, go, go forever. And I know it's important to rest your body and have some time, but I'm also being monitored by both clubs with my body and making sure that I'm not doing too much all the time. I'm having my load managed and everything like that. And we've got a bit of a break until the footy season starts again, until footy pre-season starts. So, yeah, I'm kind of basketball for now, and then I'll have a little bit of a break before the pre-season. But, yeah, I do get tired, but it's nothing that I guess I'm not used to, and I do have to probably be a bit more careful of that when I do get older. But, you know, you're only young once, right? So.
Monique Conti will sleep while she's dead. And she's got plenty of life left in this dual athlete body. Mon, thanks so much for taking the time to chat to us today. We're going to continue on our preview of this round, but before we let you go, can you tell us why Southside will beat Melbourne Boomers in the Michelle Timms Cup on Wednesday night?
It's going to be a great battle, and may the best team win. It's going to be a great challenge, and I'm really excited.
It sounded like you played a straight bat there, Monique, so I'm not ruling cricket out either. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. You are a superstar.
Flyers.
We're very lucky to have you in the Signet WNBL once again, and we'll see you Wednesday night at the Boombox.
Thank you. See you then.
Well, Tess, great to chat to Mon. Finish by asking her why Southside are going to win. So we have to ask you, why are the Boomers going to beat Southside?
Oh, good question. But I think, you know, since last time we played them, we've definitely improved a lot. We're a lot more sync offensively and defensively. And I would really hate to come back and lose. So I'll be doing anything I can to win that game.
It's been a while between losses too. I mean, France. Southside,
yeah, true.
It's not going to happen. But that was you actually answered the question. Mon didn't answer the question.
Yeah, love Mon. She answered it very, very politically correctly.
No, and we're not here for that here on the WNBL show. But the matchups are tantalising, and they are every week in the league. But, gee, there's some great ones between imports. You know, Tiff Mitchell, Liv's been doing great the last few weeks. Kayla Thornton's been, you know, on fire really for Southside since round one. The guards, the bigs, the benches, like it's...
Absolutely.
It's so good.
It is going to be a great matchup. I think it will have a real finals feel to it. So, you know, what a great game to come back to, and hopefully we can sell out the Boombox.
Now, I wanted to ask you too about the rivalry, because I remember when you were playing for the Boomers in the first chapter of your time with the club, and I'm trying to think, I reckon it was maybe 14, 15 when Dandenong had that star-studded team, and they had Penny, Cappy, Jenna, Alice, and you beat them.
Kath
McLeod. Yeah, I remember interviewing you after that, and we had a pic of you guys in the rooms all celebrating because it was an epic win. And I think they were probably up the higher end of the ladder, and perhaps the Boomers weren't at that time. But it just goes to show it doesn't matter where the sides are on the ladder, because it's always like such a good game. Upsets happen, and that was a great, you know, I'm sure one of the great wins over the rival.
Yeah, and we had another game in that stint as well where I made a shot on the buzzer to win the game as well.
Oh,
so
did you?
I love a good crosstown rival. But yeah, that was an incredible win. I remember that very vividly. I think, you know, Dandenong back then, they were top of the ladder and we were vying for a spot in the playoffs, and it was towards the end of the season. So...
And did you end up missing out like just on percentage or something?
It came down to the very last round of the season, and we missed out.
Oh, sweet WNBL memories. Well, we can't wait for Wednesday. Get your tickets. It is at the Boombox in Parkville. If you can't get to the game, of course, it's live on ESPN and KO from 5:30 local time. Let's have a look at the round that continues after that. Thursday night action, we've got Adelaide and Townsville. Townsville are on the road this weekend with two big games. We know Adelaide lost their double last week. How do you see this one unfolding? Townsville obviously coming off a defeat to you guys on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I think they will be looking to prove a point this weekend, but I'm also super excited to see Borlase in the starting five for Adelaide. I think, you know, she deserves to be in that starting five. She's a great offensive player as well as defensive, so I think she can really add something there. And, if they get off to a good start, anything can happen. But I think Townsville will be coming out really looking to prove a point.
I think Townsville in that one. As we move on to Friday night action now, and another top 4 clash which will get us excited to start 2023, and it's Southside and Bendigo. Last time they played, Southside snapped Bendigo's undefeated run. Bendigo have had a little bit of a spell after winning last week in Adelaide. Southside played 2 days after playing you guys. This one is going to be hot too.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how Bendigo respond to last time they played Southside, but I hope it's a really tough game that goes into overtime because we have to play Bendigo on Sunday. So the harder that game is, the better it will be for us.
And then we look now at the Caps and the Fire. So we know that the Caps finished the year off winless. Unfortunately for them, the Fire head back home with a game in the nation's capital on the way back. Can Canberra get their first win of the season?
I would love to see it. I think it will depend how Townsville go against Adelaide. If if it's a close game, I think the game in Canberra will be, definitely a gettable game for them. 2 games on the road. I've played in Townsville before. Travelling is tough, especially when you're going from city to city. So it's definitely a gettable game for Canberra. If they can come out and, Shanice Swain keeps performing like she does and Jade has a good game, I think they can definitely get it.
Schwagmeyer Belger too into that lineup after suiting up last week, which is good news for the Caps. Perth and Sydney. Perth had a win to finish the year. So did Sydney, having swept Canberra 3-0 in December. Who wins this one?
Oh, it's going to be a tough game, but I reckon Perth will get up in that one. But I think it's going to be a really close game.
They've improved, haven't they, a lot since you guys played them in round 1 and got the win over there in Perth. They've definitely improved with this new look side.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was always going to take, a couple of rounds for them to really gel together. They do have 3 new players and the players that they've lost were significant scorers. So I think once they all got on the same page offensively, Ryan coaches a really exciting offensive style and I think that's starting to show now.
And then if we had a drum roll, we would insert it here because we finished the round with Bendigo and Melbourne head-to-head for the first time this season. Tess Madgen's face is lighting up like a Christmas tree. You must be excited to play Bendigo. Test yourselves. They will test themselves against you guys. My goodness, who knows what will happen here?
Yeah, they play super tough and I love, that's how I play. So I'm super excited to play against them and test, how tough our side really is. I think we're definitely up to the task, but we're going to have to match their level of physicality and their toughness and their relentless pursuit for the offensive rebounds led by, obviously, Annalie and Kelsey Griffin. So
we talk about rivalries. It's been a theme in today's episode. Is there a rivalry between Melbourne and Bendigo? Like you've played for both teams. Bendigo were on the cusp of the 4 last season and knocked you off a couple of times. Melbourne's had memorable wins in Bendigo too. Like, is that a rivalry as well?
I think so. I mean, definitely last year they were our bogey team. They beat us 2 times. We weren't, if that was a final series, they would have beaten us. So we'll definitely be looking for redemption this season, but the Bendigo team is a whole new look and so are we. So I just love any Victorian rivalry. I think it sets up for a great match no matter how the 2 teams are positioned. But this season we're seeing 3 top 4 teams in Victoria. So every single one of those matchups is going to be a tough one. And they all play this round. It's going to be a hell of a round of the Signet WNBL. Tess, thanks so much for stopping in today. Where can people register for the Madgen Masterclass? Head to shehoops.com.au to register and remember that it is free. So please sign up, for 1 week or for all 6 weeks. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours. We'll see you next week on the WNBL show. We'll see you Monday night, Tess. We'll also see you Wednesday when you come back for the Boomers. So we'll see you everywhere over the next week. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you so much for having me.